Welcome to this video on its Christian Fromville premiere, and episode 3 ends in a cliffhanger.
No. Oh my god.
This episode is titled There and Back Again, and the synopsis is the following. Boyd is forced to make a tough decision when newcomers arrive in town at nightfall. Victor unearths memories from the past in the hopes of finding answers. So there's a lot of things we can expect from this episode, going from the images, the trailer, which you can see here.
Too many things are changing here. It's never snowed here before.
Why can't they leave us alone?
I have to remember.
Everybody just talks about how afraid they are of dying. Well, I don't think that's the worst thing that can happen to you here.
Remember what?
What's missing?
Are you looking for these? You can't save them all.
Okay, so let's break down what's happening. Episode 3 ended up on a major cliffhanger, and There and Back Again is an incredible title. It's like a classic hero's journey, the story of going into the unknown and returning home forever changed. And Tabitha, she's on that journey. I returned to the Fromville nightmare. A lot of you were asking, then why Tabitha escaped from if she was going to return in the next episodes? Well, I imagine it's because of 1, the bottle tree. They are more important than we think. Number 2, the drawings. She has a lot of information. But number 3, how's gonna be the town reacting to her arrival? That's going to be really interesting knowing that one of them escaped. I cannot wait for this. The synopsis tells us that Boyd's gonna face a tough decision with some newcomers arriving at nightfall, and as we know, that's the ambulance crew. We see one of them in the floor, so we know they're gonna get killed. But I think those monsters have a plan. They're not going to let Tabitha walk into town like normal. We see the ambulance arriving. It's like a light in the darkness, drawing those creatures out of the woods. And Boyd, he's searching for those keys. Well, the creepy monster nurse is saying you cannot save them all. It's making me wonder if Boyd is gonna have to make a terrible choice, a sacrifice that will have devastating consequences. I think he's going to leave Randall behind. Those leak images of Randall, we see him injured and they're not looking good. And you know what else is seriously messed up? That scene with Nikki in the trailer. It looks like she's hurting too. Maybe even worse. Now we see Acosta in the colony house. Now Mariel is helping Nikki. I imagine that Nikki is going to be trying to save Acosta and maybe she's gonna get injured because we see Acosta in colony house, so she's gonna make it there. Another observation is the fort of Victor and Sarah.
I need to build a fort. And I'm gonna tell a story.
Super interesting that we're going to see the characters together. Whatever's going to happen, it shows that it's going to be the luggage that Victor was digging in the last episode that maybe has memories of the past, maybe some drawings. After he was digging this, he went into Sarah's house and we see them in episode 4 with the fort, so I cannot wait to see what's gonna happen here. The synopsis tells us that he's unearthing memories from the past, and I think this is where things are gonna get really interesting. It's like he's unlocking those hidden memories, and it's not the first time we see this. So in the trailer, we see Victor saying the night everyone died, that's the day I met the boy in white. This is a huge clue. It connects to Victor's past, the loss of his family, and Sarah talking to Victor. Her line, you know the boy in white, is like a light bulb going off, a sign that they're both starting to piece together the puzzle. This is the first connection that they know this boy. Hopefully they discuss more of him. He says earlier, too many things are changing here. It never snowed here before. Again, this is huge. We know that it's not just about the weather. It's how the town itself is evolving, becoming something different. We have seen it in the trees, the crops, and even the snow. But Sarah's question, remember what? And Victor's line was missing. Oh my god, it's a question that's haunting us all. Is the missing pieces of the puzzle. What makes me excited about this is the first time Victor and Sarah have had a conversation. Both are really sensitive to the town, so I'm excited to see how they team up. And you know what else has me excited? That scene in the trailer, the dummy. Remember how Christopher, that guy obsessed, the symbol, the one from the photo Kate found? I think we're finally going to get some answers about this connection to Victor. It seems like Victor gets some flashbacks, some buried memories, and they're not going to be pretty going from this. And look at this scene, he's just not remembering, he's hurting. It's like those memories, whatever he remembers about Christopher, is tearing him apart. I'm excited more about this than anything else. But let's talk about Randall, because he's a character who I'm really worried about. Remember how he was trapped in that music box in Nightmare in season 2? Those cicadas around his head. Well, it looks like those horrors are not over. We see him in the RV, he's having these hallucinations, these flashbacks, and he's not okay. It's like the town influence is still messing with his mind. Even after Boyd smashed that music box, Boyd is going to have to stay with him going from the trailer. And Randall's line, everybody just talks about how afraid they are of dying, but I don't think that's the worst thing that can happen to you here. It's the way it breaks people, the inside out, like the monster said. It's seriously messing with my head, and it's making me wonder what's worse than dead in Fromville for Randall. So I'm thinking it has to be like a psychological torture, the slow descent into madness like we saw with Christopher, maybe even losing your memories, your sense of self, those creepy visions in your head, and like Sarah. So you see, those are the things that really break these characters. It's a slow burn of despair, that fear that you will never escape, never see your loved ones again. It's like the town is feeding off these characters, their fears, their sanity itself. Now we see another scene in a trailer with Boyd yelling at Randall to get back to the bus. Because Boyd has a bad feeling about this, but that monster nurse, she got other plans. I'm thinking that this scene is going to be a major test for Boyd. He arrives at the ambulance looking for friends, and he's going to have to make a choice. Does he save Randall, or does he leave him behind and drive the ambulance? And you know what's really great about this? That line from the monster saying you cannot save them all. It's like a warning that even in the best intentions can have devastating consequences. This is where Boyd's leadership, his humanity, is going to be pushed to the limit. And later Donna saying, why cannot they leave us alone? Is the cry of every Fromville resident, that desperate desire and need for an end to the nightmare. And that's what makes the show so good. We also see Ethan watching from the window, seeing the flashing lights. They don't even know their mother is inside, so that's going to be awesome. And let's talk about Acosta, because that cop arriving in Fromville is going to be a game changer. We see her step out of that ambulance, and her question, where is everyone? Is the same question every arrival asks. I think Acosta arrival is going to shake things up in a major way. She's an outsider, part of the real world, and her presence is going to challenge the town's rule, its power. I'm betting Acosta is going to be drawn into the town mysteries, whether she likes it or not. And that scene in Colony House where she's seen there, I imagine this is the runner on the hill. And yes, I'm really excited to see how Jim and the others are going to react to Tabitha's arrival. Because remember, that car accident is not just a random event. I feel like it's an important part of Tabitha's journey. A way for the town to pull her back, and what a better way to have her arrive in that ambulance. And the most important thing, how is going to be that Victor and Henry's reunion? What is that going to be like? I cannot wait to see this. So episode 4, there and back again, it's like a powder keg ready to explode. We got all these storylines coming together, Tabitha's return, Boyd's monster catching plan, Victor's quest for answers, and Fatima's pregnancy. Oh my god, I cannot wait to see all of this. My name is Christian from Being Premiere, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye one.